to know why politics is fucking personal? You want to know why you do not support me if you voted for Donald Trump? I'll tell you why. Today, and this is how, by the way, when people ask, oh, is the administration actually going to impact your life? The answer is yes. Today, I go to pick up my PrEP. This is a medicine I take every day to help prevent me from contracting or spreading the disease of HIV. My pharmacist pulls me aside and says, hey, I'm going to write you out the dosages you should take in case this information goes away. I looked at him and I said, what do you mean? He said, yeah, Trump's administration is working hard to remove all of this information from the CDC website. You're telling me in all the chaos that is going on in the world, this administration is now focused on removing materials that can help educate a disease that has killed 42.3 million people. 42.3 million people have died from AIDS. And you know who's impacted the most? Men who hook up with men and racial minorities. And also people who live in the South, which is just funny considering where those states tend to vote. This is not a Republican versus Democrat issue. In fact, George Bush was a huge advocate for getting information on HIV put onto the CDC website. This is something that Trump's administration has been doing in particular. If you voted for this man, you do not care about LGBTQIA. You do not care about, honestly, human rights or humanity in general. Why are we trying to remove information about the spread of one of the most volatile diseases that has ever graced the planet? In 2025, I'm having a pharmacist look me in the eye and say, you might want to get back stock of this. It might not be available for that much longer. Now we are taking away resources that can help continue the amazing strides that we have made to stop this disease from spreading. And it doesn't just impact the gays, bitches. It impacts everybody. So if you have a gay friend, a gay person in your family, and you voted for Trump, just know you're voting against them. And the fact that I even have to say that as if, oh, you need to know someone gay to give a fuck about someone's human rights just shows the fucking shit show we are in this country. Disaster.
I just wanted to remind you that if you voted for Donald Trump, this is all your fault. And I hope you feel all the guilt and shame that this world can possibly offer for someone who is ignorant, belligerently violent, and disgusting. Because we've said this before. A lot of you guys voted for Donald Trump because, oh, I want the money. He's a businessman. And, oh, Project 2025. A lot of this has nothing to do with me. Everything that happens in this country directly affects all of us. It affects all of us in direct ways and in indirect ways. Everything affects us. So what happens to your neighbor affects you, whether you see it or not, whether you're competent to realize that or not. Everything that happens affects you. Everything that's happening in Minneapolis, that's going to come to your state, that is going to come to your city. That energy, that demonic energy of killing people, of robbing people, of kidnapping people is going to happen around you. And it's going to hit home. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter what your race is. It doesn't matter your economic status. It doesn't matter your fucking educational degrees. It doesn't matter how much. It doesn't matter what you have, what you don't have. This is going to be a nationwide thing. And it's going to happen because you guys voted for that. You voted for that. And you thought that you were safe and you didn't care enough. You didn't care. You didn't care because you're like, it's not my problem. It's not going to happen to me. I genuinely hope that you feel all the guilt and shame that this world has to offer because you voted for the regime. And the thing is, I'm going to tell you guys this again. I'm going to say this again. He literally told us everything that he was going to do. He told us what was going to happen. This man said, you only got to vote one more time. You only got to vote one more time. And you voted for that. That didn't set off an alarm. There's so much more I can say, but I'm going to say this again. I'm going to say it again. No one is illegal on stolen land. This land was conquered. It was not conquered. It was stolen. No one is illegal on stolen land. I hope you feel all the shame that this world can offer you because you voted for this and you're disgusting. Have a great day.
I voted for Trump. And yes, I am a multiracial owner of a trauma institute, mom of a non-binary kiddo, and somebody who works in like the social justice, social work spaces, helping people with trauma. The fact that you voted against your own child tells me quite a bit. Your own child. So I'm not even going to address that because, okay. I wanted to talk to people who think like her. She said that she felt like she was voting between a rock and a hard place. I don't understand how you could see those things as a rock and a hard place, but she said that the thing that pushed her to vote for Trump was because the side that is considering themselves to be, understanding and accepting were saying, like horrible things. And I kind of want to address that in particular. And I think the frustration, and even still with the liberals, as people would say, being more accepting, a lot of us are still very strong-willed, right? And I think for us, it's kind of like how it gets to a level of frustration where it's like we're literally screaming inside of our heads all the time, nonstop. And it's like the chaos that's already ensuing, that's about to happening, and the stuff that's about to happen. And we're just like, how do you not see it? And I think that's what's so frustrating. It's like, how could you not see it? It's like Trump supporters now that have been fired and they're like, they don't care about my merit. We said that. So I think it's like that thing. It's like, we knew that. We literally knew that. We literally said that.
Can politics really destroy lifelong friendship and even tear families apart? Across America, some people say they have cut off friends and relatives over political beliefs. Others say that's taking politics way too far. So where should we draw the line between personal values and personal relationships? Let's watch more clips and we'll come back to talk about it.
If you voted for Trump, there's no coming back. There's no coming back from that. No, you can never be my friend again. I don't care how long your growth journey is after the fact you woke up, you realized you're a different person. I don't give a fuck. No sympathy for you. None. The Supreme Court just ruled that ICE can now target individuals based off their skin color, their language. They can discriminate. But you wanted us to believe it was never about race. You weren't racist. It was just because you wanted the illegals out of the country. You wanted folks to do it the legal fucking way, even though you can't explain what the legal way is. Like, nah, there's no sympathy. There's no coming back from that. I'm sorry, we can never be friends. Ever. Because the Supreme Court is now saying the quiet part out loud. Y'all are racist.
If you voted for Trump and continue to support this administration, I have zero respect for you, and I will not be friends with someone who I do not respect.
If you voted for Donald Trump, you're either a bad person or not smart. I said that, I stand by it. But listen, we've all done things that were not smart a time or two. And now's the time to say you made a mistake, because if you still support him after those Epstein emails, you're just a bad person. Because, where's the line? It keeps getting moved, as we know. And I've just had this ongoing debate over the last 8 years, internally and then also obviously with other people, where it's like, if you're a Trump supporter, I don't want to associate with you. Then sometimes I feel a little guilty and waver a little, and I'm like, okay, I need to understand indoctrination. At some point, people not holding you to this standard and saying that if you don't denounce this, you're a bad person, it's more infantilizing and insulting than being like, hey, that's bad. Racism, freedom of speech, bodily autonomy, those should have been the line too. But nonetheless, here we are. We're at kids. I don't care how they twist these Epstein files. Anybody on that list, anybody who knew about the list, anybody who conspired with people on the list, there should be no room for you in society. And any of you normie dick-riding sycophants who continue to do mental gymnastics to explain why you're still a Trump supporter, defending sex abuse and pedophilia, while your healthcare premiums skyrocket, you can go too.
Political division in America has become more personal than it has been in decades. For some people, politics isn't just about taxes or elections anymore. It's about issues they see as fundamental values, including immigration, civil rights, healthcare, and democracy itself. That's why some Americans have chosen to distance themselves from friends or even family members whose political views they believe conflict with their own values. Others believe cutting people off only deepens the divide, arguing that respectful conversations are more likely to change minds than silence or isolation. The truth is, healthy democracy depends on disagreements, but they also depend on people being able to disagree without treating each other as enemies. At the end of the day, elections come and go. Relationships, families, and communities often last much longer. The real challenge is figuring out whether our political differences should define who we keep in our lives. So what do you think? Would you end the relationship over politics, or do you believe relationships should come before political differences? Share your thoughts in the comments respectfully, and before you go, do well to like and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next.